One of my favorite quotes in the world is from Frederick Buechner, and he said, "The story of one of us in some measure is the story of us all," which that approach has been kind of like the way I've come at songwriting, is that you can feel a lot of times like your own story is irrelevant. Why would anybody care, you know? And those are actually good voices to have. They keep you from getting too cocky. But there is this sense in which if you tell your story honestly, then there's going to be some overlap. Somebody out there is going to, you know, resonate with some little tiny pocket of your story. And so I went into this book with that hope that, like, if I can tell these angles of my story well, then hopefully it'll get to somebody. And so the idea that trees were the framework, it sounds crazy, but it was like, and I just wanted to see if it would work, to be honest. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick a tree and start writing. And then as soon as I got finished with that one, there was another tree and I could write about that. And they ended up unlocking all these little pockets of memories, a few of which I didn't have before I wrote the books, you know. So I was able to discover these things. And a lot of the trees that are in the story are trees that actually still exist. You know, for me, it wasn't like, I have all these like really ancient trees that are a part of my story. They're pretty simple ones, but I can go to them and stand there and know that my dad planted this dogwood in Monticello, Illinois, or I can go to the oak tree outside the post office and, you know, have this rush of memories. And that tree probably will still be there in 50 or 100 years, you know. And so I think that it's almost like pins on a map. Like when I'm looking at the story of my life, I can see this, like, all these little moments that are populated, that are held in place by living, almost like Ebenezer stones, but they're still living and still growing, you know? And so anyway, the hope is just that by telling some small part of my story, that somebody out there will look out their window and what used to be just this massive green will diverge into the particularity of kinds of trees. And that they will look at their memories, which used to be just a massive, kind of a muddled mess, and they'll diverge into particularity, and they'll be able to hopefully trace the presence of God. It's not like God is more present when there's trees around, but maybe they make it a little easier to notice sometimes, you know? And so I know that's been the case for me. And so to pay attention to that, to realize that God isn't just present where there are trees, but He's present all the time. That He's this abiding, loving, living reality that is all around you. And if, you know, if something is small and simple, but also big and complex and beautiful as a tree, could help somebody see that, then that's what I would hope would happen.